My name is Lon Safko, co-author of the John Wiley & Sons, The Social Media Bible, the largest book ever written on social media subject. And today we're here with Stephanie Cottrell Bryant, author of Videoblogging for Dummies, also published by John Wiley & Sons. And we'll be speaking today about video and video blogging. So let's get started. So Stephanie, please tell our listeners a little bit about your background and why you wrote the book Videoblogging for Dummies.
Well, I started video blogging in 2005, about, 4 or 5 months after video blogging really kind of started to hit the scene, I guess you could call it, and a couple months before video blogs became available on before the iPod video came out and video blogs could be shown on the iPod video. So there weren't a lot of ways to subscribe to video blogs before kind of the RSS and podcasting movement started. And, of course, once podcasting became a big hit, people realized, hey, if we can put audio in there, we can put video in there. And I kind of skipped podcasting entirely and just went straight to video, which was, the way I am. And the first video blog that I posted was a video I took of my cat, and it was really just, because I guess cat videos are how people start doing video online. There's, millions of cat videos out there, but it was just kind of a silly thing. I was messing around with iMovie, and I had my new digital camera with me. I was like, oh, look, it takes video. So I shot a little 30-second video of my cat attacking a toy. And then I edited it and posted it to my live journal. And that was it. And then about 4 days later, I thought, wow, I could turn this into a show. I could go around and video myself doing weird and stupid things and then post it to the internet. And I thought, this would be a really good idea.
And fun.
And fun. And I used for my inspiration a book called This Book Will Change Your Life, which was written by these two guys in, Norway or something. They're not Americans, that's for sure, and they have that very bent sense of humor that you get once you get out of the States. It's a 365-page book, and each page has something to do that day. So, like, day one starts, and then, and it's just kind of do one thing different today, and day two is something else. And so it's just kind of a day-by-day diary of something you do that pushes your boundaries.
Great.
So I decided, okay, I'll do this, and then I'll videotape it. And then I'll edit the video and post it to my video blog. And I called the video blog, Hold My Beer and Watch This. And I got involved in the video blogging group on Yahoo, which is still one of the very best resources for video bloggers and something I strongly recommend for anyone starting out.
Right.
Because you can ask all sorts of questions, and, every so often you'll get people saying, oh, do we have to have this conversation again? But most of the time somebody will give you a solid answer, which is kind of nice.
Right.
And that was kind of the start. And within 6 months, I had proposed video blogging for Dummies to Wiley, and I'm published with Wiley with a couple other computer books. So they said, hey, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go for it. And the rest is history.
You're hooked.
At the time, nobody was making money using video blogs. And this is kind of important for your listeners and your readers, because I know now the internet and Web 2.0 and podcasting and blogging and video blogging have become a genuine way of building revenue. But at the time, people were just out there having fun. And if I were going to suggest, if I were going to answer, the question, what insights have I learned, I would say keep the fun.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That leads us into the first question is, if someone came up to you and they've never done video blogging before, what insights do you have? What have you learned from your background in video blogging? What are some tips that you tell the beginner?
I would say make sure that you're having a lot of fun with it. And that sounds sort of, oh, well, what if I'm making, a whole lot of money? But you know what? If you're not having fun, not only will it will show in your video and people will get turned off, but also you will get burnt out. And you'll say, oh, I just don't have time to do this. So you'll have hours and hours of video sitting on your hard drive waiting to be edited.
And isn't that actually the power of video, is that people can tell that you're sincere, so that when you really do come across that way?
That's sort of an interesting question, because on the one hand, people like video blogs because they see real people,
mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it is really easy to be deceptive with video.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a video that makes it look like you're standing on top of the Sears Tower.
True.
If you wanted, even if you've never been to Chicago. So it's pretty interesting to see how. And you can also make videos like what was that one? Hope is emo, or the one that hit the internet last year that was a big deal. There's a few that have come out that they seem genuine and they seem sincere and they seem like real people, and then they turn out to be a marketing campaign.
Yeah, have you seen the one where they were sitting at a conference table with cell phones, and every time the cell phone rang, popcorn sitting on the conference table would pop into whole kernels? Right. Yeah.
Yes, and I've seen people send that around as a genuine, watch out for your cell phone, it's going to irradiate your head thing. So yeah, there's things like that, and so it's interesting because on the one hand you can be very genuine, you can make it a very real personal connection, but on the other hand, just like any blog, any podcast, anything you read on the internet, you still need to be aware that it is easy to be deceptive, and it is easy for it to be a marketing campaign or whatever. And if it is a marketing campaign, you kind of have to decide: do you care?
Mm-hmm.
Do you care if they're not genuine? Do you care if they're not real people? Or is the entertainment value the same whether they're real or not?
Kind of like the BMW, the launch of the new BMW, where they went into the fake town in Bavaria with the big ramp. I don't know if you've seen that on CNN. And they were going to literally launch the BMW in America, but they were going to launch it from Europe. It was hysterical, and it's a full documentary. It runs like a half an hour, and it's great. It's just funny, and the funny thing is they said that it costs less to produce this documentary than it would to produce a professional commercial, and more people are watching it.
Yeah, and actually, when you asked, or when I know one of your questions is success stories, I would say BMW is one of the biggest success stories, and they have been consistently from the very beginning in the video blogging movement.
Really?
Yeah, they've always had a BMW brand podcast, video podcast available, and I think that is that shows a lot of savvy and forward thinking on BMW's part. I really give them strong props for that work.
So quality and consistency is important too.
The quality, the consistency, they never pretend that it's not a BMW branded thing.
Mm-hmm.
They never try to make it a viral something, except for this documentary, but even that is still, it's very clearly made by BMW. So I think that they do a good job of blending both the business part of just having their brand out there as well as the human connection.
That's great. And that's why they build the brand. I mean, that's really what social media is, that trusted network.
Exactly. And I think, BMW owners and enthusiasts, and that's the thing, is BMW is a car brand that actually has fans.
Mm-hmm. True.
People who read websites about BMWs or listen to podcasts who don't even own a BMW. So I think it's a good example of a really powerful brand using video blogs to reinforce that brand and also give something to their audience.
Yeah, the entertainment takeaway is always fun as well. And
yeah, definitely.
So you kind of touched on it a little bit, but of course the second question is what would you tell someone that's just starting out, what to watch out for? What are the misconceptions, the pitfalls? What shouldn't they do?
Well, there's a couple things I would say not to be wary of, and one of them is, of course, watch out for burnout, and the way to avoid burnout is to just keep having fun with it. And if you're not having fun, do something else, because it's really a lot of work for if it's not fun. But the other thing I would say is watch out for people who say, oh, a video blog is going to cost you a lot of money, because it doesn't have to. You can video blog with very simple equipment and still come up with a pretty decent video blog. There's a website out there called freevlog.org, which gets a lot of people started with video blogging, and it's a terrific resource done by some real powerhouses in the video blogging community.
That's a great tip.
And it'll tell you, freevlog.org, and it'll tell you, nuts to bolts, step by step, starting with I don't even have a blog, how to get a video blog up and running.
That's great.
And very helpful on how to get it an RSS feed and put it into iTunes and all of that. So it's a very useful resource. When people talk about money and how much it costs to video blog and stuff, the thing that I suggest is that you look at your equipment, your time, and your personnel, how many people you have that can be part of the video blog, and how much video equipment and tripods and so forth that you currently have, even if that's just your digital camera and a book that you prop it up on, and then how much time you personally have. And if you are lacking in any of those in a way that you feel will make your video blog less enjoyable for you, don't worry so much about audience, because at this point you don't have an audience, so it's really just you. If you're lacking any of those, that's when money comes into play. Money just replaces a resource. It either buys you time, or it buys you somebody else's time to be, personnel or staff, or it buys you equipment. It doesn't. It's not actually something you have to have in order to video blog.
And that's a really good point that you bring up. In the book, I talk often about pretty much all of the social media tools, whether you're video blogging or podcasting or blogging or setting up WordPress. It's free, but it does.
Yes.
It really does require a lot of time, though. You have to understand what you're doing, and the better the quality of the production, the better the reception is going to be. But it's free, but it does require time.
Yes, it requires time. It requires a little bit of planning, I think, is a good, But again, if you're just starting out, one thing that I do recommend for people is, if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do a video blog for my business, try doing a video blog for yourself first, and post it on a personal. You could even do it anonymously. You don't even have to be in front of the camera. You could be behind the camera, showing the world as you see it, and just do a few blog posts, video blog posts of your personal life, and see if you enjoy it enough to keep doing it. You'll quickly see what you don't like in your videos and what you do like, and that'll shape when you start making your business plan and your business message. It'll shape how you want to present that.
That's a really good point as well. To pardon the expression, the sports shoe slogan, just do it.
Right, just do it. Just go out and do it and have fun with it.
That's great. And, of course, my last question, we touched a little bit about when we spoke about BMW. Is there any other success stories, either from big corporations or individuals, that could inspire the beginner video blogger that you're aware of?
Well, of course, Rocket Boom is the big success story, and everyone will mention Rocket Boom, and everyone knows about Rocket Boom at this point. But also Ask a Ninja. Ask a Ninja started out, these were two guys who had a $50 budget for their ninja costume. And it was great, because they went in there and they were like, we only have $50 for the ninja costume, and it's going to cost us $50. And one of them said to the other one, can we buy just half the costume? Because they were so limited on their funds. And it's turned out to be an enormous success. It's
really
viral. People love it. It's funny. It was featured on Mythbusters. I mean,
really?
This is not a show that just sort of came and went. This is a show that's really hit big time. And I know there's a lot of people who feel, oh, I don't like Ask a Ninja, but those people probably haven't seen it, because it's just really funny. And it's a Ask a Ninja. You ask the ninja the question, and he comes up with some seemingly ad-libbed response that sounds like if a ninja had to answer a bunch of silly questions, would be his answer.
That's great. All on a $50 budget, they built that following.
They started, that's what they started out with. And, of course, now they have, income and a much better budget, but that was their start. And,
that's great.
It's one of the funniest things on the Internet. And it's become a big success. And I think that's the thing is, a lot of these things, they start out as something little and they steamroll. So,
and that's the power of video blogging again.
Yeah, it is.
You start with a small budget, you add some creative content, the takeaway is entertainment, and you build a following.
Exactly. And a few other, I could just go on and on about video blogs that I like and such, but a few other successes that are not necessarily that their show is a success, but that they themselves have really contributed. Steve Garfield, of course, has a video blog, and he's at stevegarfield.com. And he's kind of just become a successful online marketing guy. Just people they listen to what he has to say about online marketing. Kind of like, kind of a Robert Scoble, but a little different, a little bit less. I find it a little bit less corporate, but that's just me.
Well, when you get sponsors like Seagate.
Yeah, Robert worked for many years for Microsoft, which was always a little hard to deal with. So we were all really relieved when he left Microsoft. And
absolutely, he's a great guy.
He is. And then Marco Sandy is he's a video blogger out in California, and he's actually, what I really like about him is that he may not put a whole lot of video in his video blogs, but he's very thoughtful. And he builds relationships with other video bloggers, and this is the thing that I've always really liked about him, is just behind the scenes he'll be very supportive and helpful, and there's a large community of people who may not post every day. I don't even post to my video blog very often anymore, but there's a whole lot of people who they'll just give their knowledge and their time, and of course one of your one of those three things that you need is the time. So
yeah, and that's one of the things I really like about the social media community. It seems to kind of be a grassroots kind of feeling about it, where we're all in this together, and everybody has that feeling. We're all kind of pitching in, helping one another. It
definitely is, and actually, this is another thing that you could put in the what to watch out for.
Yeah.
For your readers and your listeners. I know that a lot of your readers and a lot of your listeners will be coming at this from a business perspective, and the thing you have to remember is that these are people, and they do not like being sold to.
Yeah.
And without all of the social media and all of the social networking, if it's clear that you're a sales pitch, they will tune you out faster than you can blink.
Yeah.
So,
and that's a really good point, because that holds true for our podcasts and blogs especially.
Yes. And so that's the thing, is you want to be very, very, tread very lightly when you enter into this, when you enter into this arena with something that is financially motivated. If you're just doing it for fun, and especially when you start out with your own personal video blog, you can really just start building that following, that personal connection, and then start branching out. And by that point, you'll have that sort of savvy of, okay, where do I really want to go with this?
Yeah. And again, just do it. Just get out there and get the feel for it.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's cool. This is great stuff. I love this. Okay, I guess lastly, oh, truly, this is a pleasure. It's my pleasure. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners about your experiences? Something that anything else come to mind? Maybe.
I would have to say that doing this has been, I'm not even video blogging much anymore. Just I'm on the road all the time, so I don't have a whole lot of bandwidth to update. But I would say that video blogging has been one of the most fun things I've done in the last few years, because it's given me this chance to meet people I would never have met. It's given me a chance to connect with people worldwide. I'm friends now with people who are in the UK, in France, in Africa. in Taiwan, just worldwide, reach, and it's very exciting to connect with people that way. And also, people are just so friendly.
Yeah, and you touch them in some special way.
Or they touched me or something. I don't know, but it's really nice to make that personal connection and to just even if you move a little bit away from video blogging, like I have, these are still people that I can email or chat with. Or video conference with, because we both know that we have the equipment at least. Right. when we go on Skype, we're like, oh yeah, well let's turn on the video cameras. Okay.
That's kind of cool. You get to meet them face to face. Face to face,
exactly.
Gotta love it.
And literally face to face at conferences. There's a bloke in the UK named Paul Knight who does a bloke. He'd appreciate being called that. He does a video blog called PJK Productions. It's very inventive and quite funny, and he does a lot of digital editing work, which I love. He does a lot of green screen and everything you see in it. It doesn't come across as a talking head on a screen telling you about his life. It's much more crazy and fun and science fiction and all sorts of cool little animations and so forth. And it's just, I love it. And one of the best things that has come out of the video blogging community is that Paul was able to get a sponsorship to send him to VloggerCon a few years ago. So I got to meet him in San Francisco at the video blogging conference.
That's so cool.
It was, and so here's somebody who I've made friends with online, and I got to meet him in person
from the other side of the world.
From the other side of the world, from the UK. So there's been moments like that have been very important and fun, and just that human connection is very important to me.
That is so cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. Is there any place where the listeners can find out more information, either about your book or about video blogging or about you personally? You have a website or?
I have a website. It's mortaine.com, MORTAINE.com, and probably that would be the first touch base to go to if you want to learn more. Also, if you are online on Facebook or LiveJournal or almost every social networking site that I'm on, my username is Mortaine, except for YouTube. Somebody got there first.
Son of a gun. Okay, and of course, Video Blogging for Dummies is a great resource.
I hope so. It's a good book. I'm pretty proud of it, and it certainly helped others, I think, in getting themselves up and running.
Well, thank you so very much. I'd really like to thank Stephanie Cottrell Bryant, author of Video Blogging for Dummies by John Wiley & Sons, for being here today and sharing her valuable insights with us all. This has been Lon Safko, the co-author of the Social Media Bible. Be sure to check out our other valuable social media tactics, tools, and strategies that can be found in the Social Media Bible book and our companion website at www.thesocialmediabible.com. More information about me, Lon Safko, or to learn about how I can speak to your company or your next event, please visit my website at www.lonsafko.com. And thank you very much again, Stephanie, and everyone else for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Lon.